వెల్కమ్ టు హర్షిత్ ఇన్స్టిట్యూట్. విజయవాడ మహానగరంలో 2009 సంవత్సరంలో ప్రారంభించబడి అనేక వేల మంది అభ్యర్థులను ప్రభుత్వ ఉద్యోగులుగా తీర్చిదిద్దిన మన హర్షిత్ ఇన్స్టిట్యూట్ గత 12 సంవత్సరాల్లో సుమారు 18,000 మందిని ప్రభుత్వ ఉద్యోగులుగా తీర్చిదిద్దింది. ఇప్పటి వరకు 5 సార్లు నిర్వహించినటువంటి ఈ యొక్క నోటిఫికేషన్స్లో అనేక సార్లు స్టేట్ ఫస్ట్ సాధించినటువంటి ఘనత మన హర్షిత్ ఇన్స్టిట్యూట్ది. ప్రస్తుతం మన హర్షిత్ ఇన్స్టిట్యూట్ యొక్క ప్రత్యేకతలు 24/7 24 గంటలతో కూడినటువంటి లైబ్రరీ సదుపాయం. అంతేకాకుండా ఇదే లైబ్రరీలో మనకు అత్యున్నత ప్రామాణిక గ్రంథాలు అందించడం అనేది జరుగుతుంది. నెక్స్ట్ ఈ లైబ్రరీతో కూడినటువంటి ఈ లైబ్రరీలో మనకు వివిధ సబ్జెక్టులకు సంబంధించినటువంటి ఎకానమీ, పాలిటీ, హిస్టరీ, జోగ్రఫీ మరియు అన్ని సబ్జెక్టులకు సంబంధించినటువంటి పూర్తి స్థాయి స్టడీ మెటీరియల్ మీకు అందించడం అనేది జరుగుతుంది. అంతేకాకుండా జాయిన్ అయిన ప్రతి అభ్యర్థికి పూర్తి స్టడీ మెటీరియల్ మరియు అభ్యర్థి ఏ ఎగ్జామ్ అయితే రాయకపోతున్నాడో ఆ ఎగ్జామ్కు సంబంధించినటువంటి సిలబస్ ప్రతి ఒక్కరికి అందించడం అనేది జరుగుతుంది. అంతేకాకుండా స్టేట్ ఫ్యాకల్టీ మన ఇన్స్టిట్యూట్లో బోధించేటటువంటి ప్రతి ఫ్యాకల్టీ కూడా ఎకానమీ, పాలిటీ, అర్థమెటిక్ అండ్ రీజనింగ్ తదితర సబ్జెక్టులకు సంబంధించినటువంటి ప్రతి ఫ్యాకల్టీ కూడా ఎంతో అనుభవము, అంకితభావము కలిగినటువంటి ఫ్యాకల్టీ మన యొక్క ఇన్స్టిట్యూట్లో ఉండడం అనేది జరుగుతుంది. అంతేకాకుండా మన ఇన్స్టిట్యూట్ యొక్క మరొక ప్రత్యేకత డైలీ టెస్టులు నిర్వహించడం మరియు వీక్లీ, మంత్లీ ఎగ్జామ్స్ నిర్వహించి ఆయా ఎగ్జామ్స్ నందు బహుమతి ప్రదానం చేయడం అనేది మన ఇన్స్టిట్యూట్ యొక్క ప్రత్యేకత. అంతేకాకుండా నాన్ మ్యాథ్స్ స్టూడెంట్స్ ఎవరైతే ఉన్నారో వాళ్ళపై ప్రత్యేక శ్రద్ధ చూపించడం, నెక్స్ట్ వాళ్ళకి ప్రత్యేక తరగతులు నిర్వహించడం అనేది జరుగుతుంది. తప్పనిసరిగా మీరు ఒక్కసారి మన హర్షిత్ ఇన్స్టిట్యూట్ని ఒక్కసారి సందర్శించండి. హర్షిత్ ఇన్స్టిట్యూట్లో ఉన్నటువంటి ప్రతి అంశాన్ని క్షుణ్ణంగా అవగాహన చేసుకోండి. మరియు ప్రస్తుతం ఎవరైతే హర్షిత్ ఇన్స్టిట్యూట్లో ఉన్నారో ఆ యొక్క విద్యార్థుల్ని వాకప్ చేయండి. మన యొక్క పరిస్థితుల గురించి అవగాహన చేసుకున్న తర్వాతే మన యొక్క హర్షిత్ ఇన్స్టిట్యూట్లో జాయిన్ అవ్వమని కోరడం జరుగుతుంది.
Right. So now we are going to discuss about new topic, the interesting topic. So it has lot of articles. So here the articles are most important. We have to bat all the articles because in every examination they will ask the articles, constitutional articles. That is why I request everybody, please copy the articles, write down the articles what I am going to give. So our new topic is directive principles. Directive principles. Our new topic is directive principles. Directive principles. Okay, so directive principles is the important chapter in our polity concept, fundamental rights, directive principles and fundamental duties. These three important topics, but especially fundamental rights and directive principles will have maximum articles. So we have to bat all the articles. So without having knowledge about articles, we should not prepare for the competitive examinations. That's why directive principles are most important concept, most important lesson in polity. Right? See now, so directive principles, it has some introduction. We have to explain about the introduction. So what is the main aim of directive principles? The main aim of directive principles, establishment of or promoting the welfare society, to promote welfare society. This is the main target, main aim of directive principles. So promote welfare society or establish welfare society. So it strives for the welfare of the society only. So these directive principles directive principles are called instrument of directive principles have this name, instrument of instructions. Instrument of instructions. So directive principles are instructions. These are not guaranteed by the constitution, by the courts. Just like instructions. Instrument of instructions. So directive principles have this caption, instrument of instruction. So tell me, what is the meaning of directive principles? Directive principles of state policy. What is the meaning? Who directs whom? Who directs whom? So, Constitution directs the governments. Constitution directs the government. That is directive principles of state policy. Here, Constitution directs governments. Constitution directs governments. That's why these are not compulsory principles. These are only advisable principles or advisory principles. So Constitution directs governments like instruction, like advice. Okay. So directive principles having the nature of Fabian socialistic concept. Fabian socialistic concept. You write this concept, Fabian socialistic concept. So what is Fabian socialistic concept? Directive principles have this kind of nature, Fabian socialistic nature. Actually, Fabian socialism was there in England. England was very famous for Fabian socialism. So Fabian socialism means shadow socialism. Shadow socialism. So Fabian socialism means shadow socialism. Shadow socialism means half of socialistic concept. So even though directive principles having socialistic nature, isn't it? These directive principles have socialistic nature. That is why it has Fabian socialistic nature. So England was the famous country for Fabian socialistic concept. Just they have shadow of the socialistic concepts. So this is also, directive principles also have Fabian socialistic nature. Right? So Fabian socialistic nature means shadow socialism. It's called shadow socialism. Yes, absolutely, you understand. In general, you have to think directive principles having the socialistic nature, isn't? So what is welfare of the society? Society has different kind of people. So we are, directive principles are thinking about the welfare of that different kind of people. That means it is going to strive for the equality concept. It is going to do hard work striving for the equality concept. Equality concept means socialistic concepts. So directive principles have the shadow socialistic concepts. The shadow socialist concepts are called Fabian socialism. Right? Even though Ambedkar said that novel rights, the directive principles are like novel rights. According to Ambedkar, these are novel rights. Direct principles are novel rights. Novel rights means not perfect rights, just shadow rights. Just shadow rights, not perfect rights, just shadow rights. According to Ambedkar, the direct principles are shadow rights. Okay, so Here, the constitution makers, Indian constitution makers, they added fundamental rights in our constitution, added directive principles in our constitution by the effect of three concepts, by the effect of three, what we can say, so that reports, because of three reports. So directive principles are added in the constitution because of three reports. Okay, what are the reports? First, Nehru report. Nehru report 1928. Two, Karachi report 1931. Next three, Sapru report 1945. These three are based for directive principles. Because of these three reports, influence is there on directive principles. So our constitution makers added directive principles in our constitution because of these three reports, especially Sapru, maximum effect was there. Sapru report effect was there, maximum effect was there. So because of these three reports, directive principles are added in our constitution. Right. So now I want to explain about the objectives or features of directive principles. First of all, we have discussed what are the objectives and features of directive principles. The objectives and features of directive principles. Here you see, first one, what is the feature, what is the directive of these directive principles? So, welfare of the main feature, welfare of the society. The main feature of directive principles, welfare of the society. Why? Because it will be striving for the welfare of the society. For example, you see today, housing, shelter and food. Government has been giving so many welfare programs, so many benefits to people today. Government has been giving loans, government has been giving housing, government has been giving, even though rice, food, civil supply, all are a part of welfare. That's why directive principles, main feature or main aim is welfare of the society. And they have socialistic nature. Direct principles have socialistic nature. Socialistic nature means equality concepts. So they have socialistic nature. And next, so positive in nature. Generally fundamental rights, positive, negative in nature. Fundamental rights, negative in nature. So directive principles, positive in nature. Direct principles are positive in nature. Next. So direct principles have no legal support. Directive principles they have no legal support. So whatever happening to direct principles, so we should not go to court, we should not demand in the court. That's why these are having no legal support. Next, Direct principles are not compulsory. Not compulsory. Not compulsory. Direct principles are not compulsory. Compulsory. Direct principles are not compulsory. These are not compulsory. Only advisable principles. Only direct principles. Directive principles, not compulsory. So we have no right to demand the government to implement the directive principles. These are the principles having no guarantee, not compulsory. Should not demand in the court, should not should not go to court for the direct principles, implementation of direct principles. That's why these are not compulsory. Next, so here only advisable principles. Only advisable principles. These are the advisable principles. No any kind of legal support, no any kind of judiciary support. Only advisable principles. So Constitution advises the governments. Constitution will advise the government to implement. Implementation is not compulsory. Okay, so depends on the implementation, depends on financial funds. It depends on financial funds. So if government has financial sources, it may implement these direct principles. If government is not having money, financial resources, financial funds, but it cannot introduce. The governments will not introduce or implement these direct principles. So, welfare of the society, the main aim of directive principles, welfare of the society, and socialistic nature, they have the socialistic nature, and they have positive, they are the positive in nature. Positive in nature means, so only they will strive for the development and welfare of the people. So positive in nature, have no legal support. Directive principles have no legal support. If the governments are not implementing, we have no any right to go to court. So, and not compulsory. The directive principles are not compulsory. So this only depends on the government decision only. Advisable principles, these Constitution advises the governments. That's why these are only, already I told you, instrument of instructions. It is called instrument of instruction. Already I told you, instrument of, it is like an instrument of instructions. So like an instrument, like tool, like instrument of instructions, and depends on financial sources, financial funds. The main concept behind of the implement of these directive principles, financial sources. When our government having the funds, sufficient funds, then only government can implement. But nobody has the right to go to court against the fundamental rights. So nobody has to go to court against the fundamental rights because these are not compulsory. These are advisable only. Okay, so these are objectives, futures, aims, whatever. But directive principles striving for establishment of welfare society. Their directive principles aim is very perfect. Directive principles goal is very perfect. What is that? Establishment of equal welfare of the society. Yes, welfare of the society means, so it will give, for example, today corona effect is there. Because of corona, government is giving Central government is giving 500 per month. State governments are giving 1500 like that. This is a part of directive principles. But it is not compulsory. You have no right to go to court. Why the government is not giving amount? So, Andhra government is giving 1500, Telangana government is giving 100,000. You give 1500. So, don't go to court regarding these cases because it is purely a concept of welfare concept principles. So, directive principles also looking like that. So, these are the main aims and objectives of directive principles. You remember, they have no legal support. They are not compulsory. They are positive in nature, welfare of the society, and advisable principles, instrument of instructions, novel rights, and also injusticiable rights. Injusticiable rights. We can say like this also, injusticiable right. Injusticiable rights. So there is no justiciable rights, fundamental rights. Justiciable rights are fundamental rights. But injusticiable rights, directive principles. So these are the aims, objectives, goals, features of directive principles. Okay, mainly objectives and futures. Mainly objectives and futures of directive principles. So, directive principles are taken from which constitution? Yes, Irish constitution. This is very important concept, important point. Irish or Ireland constitution. So directive principles are taken from Irish constitution or Ireland constitution. You know, Ireland, nearby England, Ireland has taken these directive principles from Spain, 1937. So Ireland or Irish was taken these directive principles from Spain constitution. So, directive principles are taken from Irish constitution, right? Now, so in which part directive principles are mentioned in which part of the constitution? Fourth part, articles from 12 to 30, so articles from 36 to 51. So these are the articles. Directive principles are mentioning in fourth part, 36 article to 51 article. These are the constitutional articles. Okay? Fourth part, 36 to 51 article. Fourth part, 36 to 51 article. Directive principles are explained. Right? Now, classification of directive principles. Classification of directive principles. You know, directive principles are classified by MP Sharma. Directive principles are classified by MP Sharma and M.N. Joshi. M.N. Joshi. Directive principles are classified by MP Sharma and M.N. Joshi. They classified directive principles. According to their classification, directive principles are three kinds. According to their classification, directive principles are three classifications, three kinds. One, socialistic principles. Socialistic principles. Socialistic principles. Two, Gandhian principles. Gandhian principles. Three, Idealistic or liberal principles. Intellectual principles also. Idealistic or liberal. So, idealistic or liberal. Idealistic or liberal principles. Right? So, socialistic principles, Gandhian principles, liberal and idealistic principles. These are three kinds. Right? So, I will write articles also. You write as it is. Articles are most important. That is 30, 38, 39, 38, 39, 41, 42, 43. 38, 39, 41, 42, 43. And these 40, 43, 46, 47, 48, 49. Okay. Liberal principles 44, 45, 50, 51 articles. These are the articles explaining the kinds of directive principles. Okay, so you see, these are the classification of directive principles. According to M.P. Sharma and M.N. Joshi, the directive principles are three kinds. Socialistic principles. What is the meaning of socialistic principles? Socialistic principles means the principles which are striving for the establishment of equal society. That is called socialistic principles. The principles which are striving for establishment of equal society, that is called socialistic principles. So, here the socialistic concepts, establishment of equal society. And now, Gandhian principles. Gandhian principles means the principles are which are related to Gandhi views. The principles which are related to views of the Gandhi. The principles which are related to views of the Gandhi, those are called Gandhian principles. And so liberal principles. The principles which are having liberal concept, idealistic concepts, those are called liberal principles. But here you see articles are main important. Socialistic principles 38, 39, 41, 42, 43. Gandhian principles 40, 43, 46, 47, 48, 49. And liberal idealistic principles 44, 45, 50, 51. These are the articles. So we will explain each and every article. So I would like to explain each and every article. Okay. So articles are most important. But you see, these direct principles are started from 38 article. But in the beginning I told you 36 articles are direct principles are going to start from 36 article. But 36, 37, what about 36, 37? What about 36 and 37? Only there is 38 article. What about 36, 37? Yes, according to 36 article, definition of state. 36 article explains about definition of state. That means what is India. Even though 12th article also explaining same point. 12th article also explaining same point. What is that? According to 36 article, definition of the state. That means what is India? India means parliament, state legislatures, Supreme Court, all the government concepts. All these including it is called India. Parliament, Supreme Court, Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha, that means parliament, state legislatures and union territories all together. This is called states. State. 36 article is explaining about the definition of the state. Okay. And 37 article, it explains there is no legal guarantee for directive principles. So nobody has to challenge, nobody will challenge directive principles in the court. There is no legal support to directive principles. This is 37 article. Legal support. There is no legal support. There is no legality to directive principles. So nobody will challenge the directive principles in the courts. So again there is no legal guarantee to directive principles according to 37 article. According to 37 article. Okay. 36 definition of the state. I am telling you just a simple center point you have to remember. If you want to know the article, if you want to keep in mind your article just what is main concept of that article, that's most important. Don't have idea, don't keep all the jumbling concepts. Simple thing. So 36 definition of the state. Okay. They won't ask you what is state, they won't ask you. Just what is 36 article, definition of the state. And 37 is direct principles are no legal support. Direct principles are not supporting by courts, any court. Direct principles are should not challenge the direct principles in any court. That's an article. These are two most important articles. Okay? Right. So 36, 37 completed. Now, so we are going to explain about socialistic principles. We want to explain about socialistic principles. What are the socialistic principles? What is the information in these socialistic principles? So, once again I am telling you everybody, articles you must be remember. You must be remember all the articles. Must be add the articles. Right? 36, 37 completed. Now 38. 38 article. So what is 38 article? So 38 article, government try to strive for the all-round development of the people. Here all-round development. All-round development means all kind of development. So government will strive for the all kind of developments of the people. Economical, social, political, and whatever the development concepts. So government will strive for all kind of development of the people. So government will provide facilities to the people for the development. For example, they have no shelter. Government will provide the shelters. The people have no food. Government will provide food. So like this, government will strive for the all kind of development of the people, economical, social, political, etc., etc. So government will not neglect any person. Government will not oppose any person in this concept. That is 38 article. 38 article is saying that government will strive for the economical, political, social development of the people, and government will strive not to, so government will strive not to misusing of funds by the people. Okay, for example, the rationing is there. Somebody have white ration cards, but ration rice, civil supply rice, they won't eat that civil supply rice, but they will take that rice, but they will misuse the rice. So government will supervise like this, will concentrate on the people. So that is 38 article. And next, 39th article. 39th article, government will strive for the removing of poverty. Government will strive for the removing of poverty. Government will take necessary actions to remove poverty because India is the country having lot of poverty. So government will strive for the removing the poverty. Government will take necessary precautions, necessary actions to remove poverty. Okay, that is 39th article. Government must strive for the, not must, government will try to remove poverty, remove economical inequalities also. Government will strive for the removing of economical inequalities. That is 39th article. Okay, and in this 39th article, we have some points. We have some points in the 39th article. What are 39 articles? So, here, what we can say, government should provide employment for both men. Right? You see, the second concept in 39 article, government will provide the employment to all men and women. Government will provide employment, food and shelter, etc. also. Government will provide employment to men and women. Employment men and women. And government will strive not to centralize the financial resources. The government will strive not to centralize the financial resources in single man, in some groups, because if the financial resources are centralized in the group or in some category people, other people will have the problems. So government will try to not to centralize the financial resources. Okay, and next, so government will pay equal salary for equal work for men and women. Equal salary for both men and women for equal work. Generally, what happens? Government will provide equal salary for both men and women for equal work. But generally in agricultural sector, in private sector, what is happening? In private industries, what is happening? They are paying much salary to men, less salary to women. If you go to agriculture sector, there also women getting less salary than men. So here this article is saying that should not pay like that. So government will pay equal salaries for both men and women for same work, for equal work. This is most important concept. And government will strive for the development of children, girl and boys. Government will strive for the development of children, girls and boys. So, and these are the 39th article concepts, right? So, government will try to remove poverty. Government will try to remove poverty. Government will pay equal salaries. Government will pay equal salaries for men. No. So government will provide employment for men and women, for both people, men and women. Government will provide, and government will try to not centralize the financial resources in the group of the people or in the single people, because it will create economical inequalities. It creates economical inequalities. And here one more, government will pay equal salary to both men and women for equal work. Government will pay equal salary for both men and women for equal work. And next, government will develop, so government will develop, strive for the development of children, girl and boy. Government will strive for the development of children, girl and boys. So totally this 29th article regarding social welfare, social development concept. So this is the 39th article, awakening the social consciousness. Okay, and next 39th A article, 39th A article. So government will give free legal advices to poor people. Government will give free legal advices to poor people. Why? Because sometimes poor people, because of lack of money, they won't have any legal advices. They won't go to courts also because poverty. So because of poverty, they have been facing this kind of problems. So government will facilitate the free legal services, free legal advices to poor people. This is 39A article. So 38, all kind of developments. 39, these concepts. 39A, free legal advice, free legal service. Okay, so governments will bring awareness, legal awareness. Government will conduct camps. Government will conduct seminars to advise the legal concepts to the people. This is the articles, right? Okay, now, so 41 article, 40 article is not there, 40 article is not there, 40 article is in Gandhian principles. Now, so 41 article, what is 41 article? We have to see 41 article. So here 41 article. What is 41 article? What is 41 article? So 41 article is saying that government will give pensions to old people, physically challenged people, orphans, widows, etc. So this article is saying government will provide, government will help to the people who are suffering from different social problems. For example, old age people. Government will give pension to old age people. Why? Because existence will be very problem. For the self-existency, the government will give them pension. Okay, now governments are doing like that. They are giving pension, old age pension. After crossing 57 years, the old age people are getting pension. So this is 41 article. And physically challenged people, the government will give them pension for physically challenged people. And widows, government will give pensions to widows. And unemployed unemploys. So governments, some of the governments, for example, Madhya Pradesh, Kerala, Tripura, Bengal, I think these are the states have been giving the unemployment pension. So because of these pensions, they may be survived. So somewhat they will be happy. So this article, 41 article is explaining about the pensions for these people, old age people, physically challenged people, widows, unemployed. Okay, this is 41 article, very, very important article, 41 article. According to this article, government will provide pension facilities to these kind of people. And next, 42 article. What is 42 article? So here, especially 42 article, according to 42 article, government will strive for the welfare of the women. Government will strive for the welfare of the women. Especially, government will help to, government will provide maternity facilities to mother and daughter. Okay, maternity facilities. Government will provide maternity facilities to mother and daughter. This is purely women welfare concept. Yeah, here we have so many government hospitals. In the government hospitals, government has been providing so many facilities, maternity facilities. So this is the article telling about the maternity facilities, women welfare. Okay, and next 43 article. This is article saying about labor welfare article. This is government will provide bonus facility to labor. Government will provide housing facilities to labor. Government will provide medical facilities to labor. Government will provide education to their children. So this is totally labor welfare article. According to 43 article, government will provide all kind of labor facilities. Okay, so these are the articles 38, 39, 41, 42, 43. These are the articles regarding to socialistic principles. Okay, here all these articles are explaining the internal concept of this article. You understand the internal concept of this article, these articles. So socialistic society concept. Are you understanding? Socialistic society, establishment of socialistic society, establishment of socialistic society. You understand all these articles having internal meaning, internal concept. So establishment of socialistic society. That's why these are called socialistic principles. These are called socialistic principles. Right? Now, Gandhian principles. You know, what are the Gandhian principles? What is the meaning of Gandhian principles? Yes. Which principles are related to Gandhi views, Gandhi concepts, Gandhi philosophy? Those are called Gandhian principles. Okay. So here all the articles are explaining the view of the Gandhi. Every article is the reflect of Gandhi views. Every article, it is a reflect of Gandhi views. When you study these articles, automatically we will get the figure of Gandhi. Okay. So Gandhian principles. The principles which are related to Gandhian philosophy. So in these articles, first one, 40th article. 40. What is 40 article? Establishment of Panchayat Raj system, local government system. 40th article, establishment of Panchayat Raj system or local governments. So Gandhi has given lot of importance to local government system or Panchayat Raj system. Gandhi always used to say Gramarajyam, Ramarajyam. Gandhi always used to say Gramarajyam, Ramarajyam. He wanted Grama Swarajyam. That is why whenever villages are developed, automatically our national income will be developed. Because villages are maximum agricultural based villages. So our first sector is, primary sector is agriculture. Whenever villages are developed, agriculture sector will be developed. Whenever agriculture sector is going to develop, our national income also somewhat it will be developed. So Gramarajyam, Ramarajyam. Grama Swarajyam. This is the article, establishment of Panchayat Raj system, establishment of local governments, establishment of Grama Swarajyam. So this is the article explaining about Panchayat Raj system. And next, so 43 article. 43 article. So 43 article is explaining about cottage industries, establishment of cottage industries, development of cottage industries. 43 article is saying about cottage industries. You know, Gandhi also gave the importance to khadi, charaka, etc. So here village cottage industries are damaged, cottage industries are collapsed, cottage industries are collapsed. But you know, whenever the cottage industries are collapsed, automatically villagers, they lost their jobs, they lost the employment, even though they are not having food also. That's why Gandhi said according to this article, establishment of cottage industries, development of cottage industries, development of cottage industry goods. Once upon a time, some of the villages very famous for saris, silk saris. But today, no silk saris. Once upon a time, if we go to villages, that village people maximum depended on weaving. For example, here, Venkatagiri, Pochampalli, Sirisilla, Gadwal, Chirala, Perala, like every area, maximum areas depended on the cottage industries. But because of multinational companies, because of industrialization, all cottage industries are damaged and collapsed. Now villages are not having the simple food also, right? That is 43 article. And 46 article, what is 46 article? 46 article is explaining about reservations for SC, ST, BC in the employment and education. Reservations for SC, ST, BC in the employment as well as in the education. So to promote education in SC community, ST community, BC community, to promote economical development in SC community, ST community, BC communities. This is the article for the reservation of SC, ST, BCs. 46 article. So Gandhi, he told, so SC, ST, BC, they will have the government, they will have the education facilities, they will have employment facilities. So this is the article explaining about reservations, SC, ST and BC reservations in the employment and education. Right? Next. 47th article. 47th article. What is 47th article? 47th article is explaining about, so it is prohibiting consumption of, intoxication drinks, drugs which are injurious to the health. This is the article. Prohibiting the consumption of alcohol, consumption of intoxication, drugs, drinks, etc., etc., which are harmful to body. Right? Today, consumption of alcohol consumption is very popular concept. Today, governments are getting maximum income from the excise and alcohol departments. So, this is the article explaining to prohibit consumption of alcohol. Okay, this is 47th article. So, prohibiting the consumption of alcohol, intoxication drugs, drinks which are harmful to body, which are injurious to body health. Next, 48. See, what is 48? The agricultural system. The agricultural system must be scientific. Agricultural system must be scientific. And here you see, we are not following the agricultural system, the modern methods, because we are not getting much productivity. That's why this article is saying to follow scientific agriculture. Okay, and 48A also there. 48A also there. Prohibiting slaughterhouses, prohibiting slaughter of cows, slaughter of milk cows, like that. So it is prohibiting slaughterhouses. 48A article prohibiting slaughterhouses. Today we are looking that there are so many slaughterhouses. They are killing the cows, animals. So this article is saying that prohibiting of slaughterhouses. Right? And now 49th article. 49th article. This article is saying about the government will protect, what is that? Historical monuments. Government will take necessary steps to protect historical monuments. Okay, government will take necessary steps to protect historical monuments. Today, historical monuments are our wealth. Our primary duty, we must protect them. And even the government also should take necessary precautions to protect monuments. For example, here we have so many forts, so many historical places. So government will take compulsory actions to protect that monuments, historical monuments. Right? Next. So liberal principles, also called idealistic principles. also called idealistic principles. Liberal or idealistic principles. Yes? Articles 44, 45, 50, 51. These are the articles. 44, 45, 50, 51. Right. So now 44th article. Now 44th article. What is 44th article? So 44th article is saying about common civil code. Common civil code, introducing of common civil code. Uniformity, uniform civil code. Common civil code. It's saying about common civil code. It's saying about common civil code. Right? What is common civil code? What is common civil code? Today, so non-Muslims, there is different civil codes. For example, in Muslim community, if they want divorce, simply they have to say talaq, talaq, talaq. Simply they have to say talaq, talaq, talaq. Of course, it has been not working today, but previously. But in Muslim community, polygamy is common. Polygamy means more than one wife. It is common in Muslim community. But other than Muslim community, more than one wife is not possible. It is illegal. And other than Muslims, if they want divorce, they have to move around of court. But regarding Muslim community, simply if they say 3 times talaq, 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 they will get divorce. So this article is opposing this concept. So common civil code should be applied. So common or uniform civil code will be introduced according to 44th article. 44th article. Right. Next. 45th article. What is 45th article? According to 45th article, so government will provide compulsory education to children who have 6 years to 14 years. So to avoid child labor system, it was introduced. Government will provide compulsory education to children who have age from 6 to 14 years. So this is also there according to 86th Amendment Act. In 2002, there was 86th Amendment Act. This 86th Amendment Act is saying about these concepts. This 86th Amendment Act also saying about this concept. So compulsory education to children. Government will provide every facility, books, uniform, everything, because if they are not going to school, they are becoming as child labor. So government will provide compulsory education to the children who have age in between 6 to 14 years. Next. 50 article. What is 50? So the judiciary must be separated from executive. According to this article, the judiciary must be separated from executive, because you see here in those days collectors have judicial powers. So this article is saying the separation of judiciary with the executive. That's why the judiciary must be separated from executive. This is the article explaining like that. I next 51 article. 51 article. What is 51 article? So here 51 article. Our country will maintain friendship with other country. Our country will maintain friendship with our country. Our country will strive for the maintaining peace. Our country should maintain the peace. And our country should promote UNO concepts. So this is this article. This is article explaining about peace, friendship, establishment of coordination, cooperation, international fraternity, everything. This is called 51 article. So these are the articles of directive principles. So directive principles, three kinds according to MP Sharma, according to M.N. Joshi. Directive principles are three kinds: socialistic principles, Gandhian principles, and intellectual principles, or idealistic principles, or liberal principles. These are not compulsory. So we should not challenge the directive principles in court, because there are so many controversial discussions between fundamental rights and directive principles. But whenever we are going to court regarding directive principles, even the courts also cannot support to directive principles. Directive principles only the advisable, only, so what we can say, instrument of instruction. They have no legal support, they have no judicial support, they are not compulsory, they are positive in nature. So all these are information regarding directive principles. So directive principles, the most important salient piece of Indian Constitution, as well as the most important part in the Constitution. We should follow all the articles, because articles are very, very important. Here we have how many articles? 36 to 51. 36 to 51 articles. All are most important articles. So that is why when you write any examination, there will be articles. There are so many questions on the articles. So we have to bat all the articles. Compulsory we have to bat it. Compulsory we have to bat it all the articles. Without batting, we can't write the answering to directive principles. So this is that chapter regarding directive principles. All the best. Thank you.